Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Denim and Pearls. I'm Brian Swanson
I'm Dr. Michelle Moross. We're business casual.
with Pearls of Wisdom.
From the porch.
The port.
You know what was happening today?
What?
Everybody was kung fu fighting. I didn't know I was going to do that.
I did not. That's scary. I actually won a radio contest over that one time.
Kung fu fighting?
Yeah, the radio announcer says, who did this song? And I called in, and I was the only one to call in because it was Carl Douglas. But the reason why we bring that one up today is because we have a special little treat that we're going to be doing here for you with a little, pre-screening, if you will.
Multiple clips of
Bruce Lee.
And his wisdom.
The man was amazing.
He was.
I mean, it's just crazy. I don't know, was it his training that took him to that level? Because some of the stuff that we're going to cover is pretty deep.
Yeah, he was always training. Always. In everything he did.
So do you think it was his training that made him appear so wise?
Yeah, because he calmed his mind. He calmed his mind down. He focused on what he needed to get done and how to better himself so that he could. I mean, there's a video that I saw where he just puts his hand next to a cinder block and he millisecond move and the whole thing crumbles. He doesn't even touch it.
So he has the force.
He has the force.
The force be with him.
And the thing is, if he has the force, if you can focus enough, you have the force. We all have the force.
I don't know if I got that much
He
force.
just had it controlled. It was amazing.
That'd be crazy. So let's go ahead. Let's go to our first clip right here and see what he's got to say.
What defines real strength?
Strength is the ability to remain conscious under pressure. Force is easy, awareness is rare.
So the question was, what defines real strength?
And he says strength is the ability to remain conscious under pressure. Force is easy, awareness is rare. Force is easy, awareness is rare.
So in other words, we just said we said right before the clip that we all have it, but the awareness of it, we don't have.
Well, some of us do.
I mean, I forget you're a guru.
But you can force force is easy, but having that inner awareness is a rare trait. And if you look at Bruce Lee, his ability to be self-aware, the thing about self-awareness is he knew what he was good at and what he was not so good at, and the things he wanted to improve on, he improved on it. And that's what we all should be doing.
Well, that sounds like our way of business.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty simple. I'm a simple guy. I mean, all this stuff that we're talking about is pretty deep, but if we're going to relate it to what we're talking about in business, yeah, we all wear multiple hats when it comes to our businesses. We have to be the accountant and the candlestick maker, and we have to be all of that. So which one are you good at, and which one can you actually, what's the word I'm looking at? Give out to somebody else.
Yeah.
I was going to say outsource was the word I was looking for. I was going to say pawn out to somebody else. But who can you trade services? That's a good one. Who can you trade services with, or who can you hire to do something? I mean, when we first started, you said you were no good at websites. Guess what? I know somebody who is, it's just like recently I put out a thing to have my military shadow box fall off of the table. It fell off the table. I broke it. To help it. And I'm looking for somebody to put it back together. Now, I can go back through and put it together. Don't get me wrong. I've got clamps.
Not beautiful.
I got all that kind of stuff, but I don't have kid gloves. And in my eyes, it needs kids gloves. So I'm looking for somebody to do that. So I'm going to outsource what I have.
Exactly.
So I'm aware of my faults in that case.
Well, and the whole thing about self-awareness comes down to the next step that we're about to share. You ready for it? Not ready?
I guess that's a transition. So yeah, right here, right now. Boom.
Why do humans constantly compare themselves? Comparison begins when self-identity is unclear. Understanding oneself removes the need to measure against others.
So in this clip, he asks, why do humans constantly compare themselves?
Yeah, and he says comparison begins when self-identity is unclear, and understanding yourself basically removes the need to measure against other people. And the reason I thought that was a really good clip to follow is because when you are looking for someone to outsource and having that self-awareness, it's knowing that, oh, they're really good at it and I'm not. No, they're really good at it, so therefore, ask.
Yeah. Well, I think it works.
Stop judging yourself.
Yeah, and stop comparing yourself to others. I think that goes a lot along the lines of going in the personal. Okay, how successful is another person? You know, can you compare yourself up to that multimillionaire or that billionaire, if you will, when you're only working with, you know, a couple $100 per month or whatever? Can you really do that kind of comparison? And if you do that kind of comparison, can you actually put yourself down, or can you turn around and make yourself better?
Yeah, because most people compare and then psych themselves out so much that they don't want to do it anymore.
Especially today. I mean, we've got the social media. People are going, I'm not like that person. I'm not like that. I want to be like that person. So I think we see a lot of that. I mean, back in our day when we didn't have social media, I mean, you looked at that comparison of, I hate to bring this up, but I think it's a perfect comparison of the magazines where the women were, you know, skinny
Thin and
or
thin.
thin and skinny or whatever you wanna call it, and the actresses were the same way, and then the girls in our culture were going, "I wanna be like that." I mean, first thing that just came to mind was Teen Beat, the magazine. I wanna be like that, and then what did they do? They went overboard on
Anorexia,
into
bulimia.
anorexia and different things like that just because they were trying to compare themselves up to somebody else.
And the thing about what Bruce Lee says is if you know yourself well enough, and you keep working on that, you don't need to compare because you're comfortable with who you are and what you do.
Well, you always say live unapologetically, but I think that that's more than just going, yeah, I don't have to have credit for that
No,
or
that's
whatever.
far more not no. When
It's
I say
more yourself.
when I say live, I say be the best version of you every day, unapologetically. And the reason I say that is because I believe in constant self-development. So you're
Right.
always going to be better than yesterday and be unapologetic because a lot of people do, well, I did this and did this. Well, you know, I'm sorry I outgrew you, basically. And then they feel guilty for moving forward. And it's like, don't be guilty. Don't have that. Just be proud of the person that you are and be the best version of that person and don't apologize for changing.
So I think a big tidbit on here, because we always talk about pearls of wisdom, how do we improve ourselves?
You mean how to, in what way?
In any way. I mean, if we're trying to grow personally, whether it's in finance or whether it's in the way we talk to people, I mean, there's one, I'm thinking books is where I'm leading this, books and different things like that, and learning from others who are where you want to be. But one of the first books I think of, I never liked the title of it, so I didn't read it for the longest time. How to Win Friends and Influence People.
No.
I thought it was so self-centered of a title. But after I've read it, I understand it now. It makes much more sense.
Now, and I just forgot what I was about to say about that.
I'm good at doing that.
Self-improvement. It comes in many forms, but it comes first with recognizing there's a need for improvement. I mean, I believe we're all innately gifted with what we are supposed to do. It's finding the gift in what you already know. Now, how do you do that? You like saying, go to books. My other thought is, what books do you go to? What tapes do you go to? What recordings do you go to?
I love Stephen King.
You don't go to someone you didn't admire. So if you want to be, let's be extreme, want to be a millionaire, you don't go to Pinching Pennies Doc 101. You know, you don't do that. You go to someone who's already done something, achieved it, and watch them and watch how they do things. Not all the times do you have to listen to what they do or do you have to do it the way they do. Just watch them and be inspired that it is possible. And then maybe in your case, you developed your way and someone else is watching you.
Let's move on to the next one. This one's interesting. So watch this. We'll talk about it afterward.
Why are people uncomfortable with silence? Silence removes distraction. In that space, unresolved thoughts become visible, and visibility demands honesty.
I'm going to say it.
What?
As he says, the interviewer says, why are people uncomfortable with silence? And what's the answer? I want you to say it.
Oh my goodness. Why? Silence removes all the distractions. Okay. And I'm always distracted, but silence removes all the distractions. In that space, unresolved thoughts become visible, and visibility demands, oh my gosh, honesty.
Mm-hmm. Be honest with thyself.
Honest with thyself. So and it does hit home because we've talked about the fact that I don't like to go on the road and go on a road trip and sit by myself because I'm alone with me and my thoughts.
And I think it's the best place to be.
And I think it stinks. But I'm so used to distractions because maybe this is what part of my upbringing, as more I think about this one, I had a lot of things in my life that were not, let's call it favorable for for my own purpose, but I always gave it a reason of why it was that way. I always found something else to do, whether it was go outside and play or whether it was go to the swimming pool I mean, I remember in high school, I used to run to my girlfriend's house. It was like a mile and a half away. And it was to get out of the house. It was a distraction from the things that were happening to me. So now when it comes down sitting alone, there's no distractions. I just keep thinking and thinking and thinking. And I guess you have to be honest with yourself when you have those thoughts.
And I'm a big thinker. I love to think and I love to sit alone and analyze myself. And I will find something in my past or something I just did or whatever. And I will micro pick it. And how would I have done it differently? How would that work? If it happened another way, what would I have done? I'm always doing A/B testing on every situation. So like when people say, "Oh, you
That's
went,"
when I get stuck in my head.
but that's why you do A/B testing. So like when I had breast cancer and I told the doc, she said, "What do you want to do? Do you want surgery? Do you want this, this?" I said, "I want this, 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 this." It's just, you answered that really quickly. I said, because I've already run the scenario through my mind multiple times throughout my life. And I believe that when you have the time to be quiet, and I purposely have quiet time so that I can analyze what would I do if. I love if-then statements. What would I do if? And if I did do that, what would be the consequences of that? And I run through those things, and I'll run through the whole. I don't know if it's my personality type or if it's my zodiac, whatever it is, but I love that deep dive on the why I do what I do and why I don't do what I do. And that is those honest things. Because I'll say, you know what, Michelle? You'd be a real biatch if that happened because you would do this, this, and this. Well, okay, if that's my natural tendency, how do I switch it so I don't do that? But I can answer it better. And I'll run through that whole thing. I wouldn't be able to do it if I didn't get quiet and really honest with the whole real person I am.
Well, I think the mind is a power. We'll make this really short because we need to get on to the
Okay.
next clip. But my honest thought on that is how powerful the brain is. I mean, we talk about the brain healing the body, and we talk about all these kind of things. But in typing class, this is going to seem really minuscule comparably, but in typing class, we had a teacher who told us to close our eyes and to learn the keyboard, close your eyes and picture yourself doing
Yep.
the keyboard. And it's like, okay, this is kind of weird, but it worked.
I do it for everything.
And that's how I learned it. And of course, if you look a lot of these sports characters and stuff like when
You
we watch the Olympics,
visualize.
it's visualizing what's going to happen. And the muscles have a tendency to do what they need to do when it comes time to doing
I
it.
do it when I teach speaking. I tell people, close your eyes and envision where you're speaking, how you're moving on the stage, what words are coming out of your mouth when you're doing a certain particular thing. It's visualization. There's so much you can do without actually doing it by just playing it on repeat in your mind. Nope, don't like how that happened. Repeat. Okay, now let's do it this way. I love visualization, but it happens when you're quiet and you have to be honest. You can't say, "Oh yeah, you're good. Oh, yeah, I'm always awesome." No, hey, that really that's terrible.
All right.
I need to do it.
On
So,
to the last
next
topic.
clip.
Last topic. We could go on forever on a lot of these topics, but here we go.
Why does truth often feel painful?
Truth challenges attachment. Pain comes not from truth itself, but from losing illusions.
Now you ready? I'm going to do it.
No.
Why does the truth often feel painful? You just answered it. He is an example of it. I don't want to look at that. I want to act like it doesn't exist. So what was his answer?
His answer was truth challenges the attachment. Pain comes not from truth itself, but from losing the illusions.
Yeah, we live in our illusion of everything's hunky-dory. As long as I don't look at it, it's fine.
Blinders.
Yeah.
Go through life with blinders on.
You've got to face the truth. This happened because I did this.
You know, one of my
Whatever.
worst, I don't like video cameras necessarily, but it's not so bad nowadays, considering we've done 250 episodes.
This is 250.
Yeah, this is. Congratulations, by the way.
Congratulations.
But another fear is, and I know it needs to be done when it comes to businesses, is surveys. How's my driving? how's my business? How is the customer service? How is this? How is that?
You need checkups.
Oh my gosh. Because the reason why I think I'm scared of the truth. I hate hearing it. Now, once I hear it, I can adjust to it. I can make for it and I can go on. It's kind of like climbing a ladder. Looking at the ladder, I'm scared. Once I get to the top, I'm perfectly fine. But the same way goes when it comes to asking for the honest answer of how is my presentation? How is my business doing? How is my customer service? So asking for the questions, it's painful.
Well, and the thing is people fear the unknown. And what I want to let you all know, and you probably know this already, fear is all a mental construct. It's not real. Fear is not real. It is what your brain plays out for worst case scenarios because the job of your amygdala or whatever is to make sure you don't get hurt. And so the brain will play out these scenarios that do not ever actually come to fruition to the point of the way the creation of the storyline goes. It's not real. And then you develop this fear of this avoidance because it's going to be so terrible. Well, the secret is just go do it. And what's going to happen is you'll realize it wasn't as bad as you thought it was going to be.
And here's my answer to it all the time. I'm perfect, so nobody has a contradiction. So I look at it from that point, and then when somebody says, well, you need to do a survey and find out how your customer service is, I go, well, I'm me. I don't.
No, I say I'm practically.
So because my confidence says I'm scared to really know what it is.
Oh. And I do practically perfect in every way like Mary Poppins. I'm practically, not perfect, but practically. And I will do my best to strive to do the best I can. So in my case, it always is practically perfect. It's never going to be perfect.
All right. So I know we were going to make this short
Yes.
today, but it's been a great session, I think. Hopefully you guys agree with us and you'll like and share all the information that we had to share today. All of our pearls of wisdom were pretty big today. The pearls were like this big around.
Well, and thank you so much for the person who put those clips together that we found and we were watching and got intrigued by it to share it with all of you.
I think it's been shared numerous times. It's a beautiful, it's a wonderful clip.
But I do want to say thank you for that. And for all of you right now, go find a clip. You could see it on our screen. Find it and go listen to it and analyze yourself through those thoughts that he gave you. It's a really good practice to look at yourself and see how you line up through the Bruce Lee processes.
So, and if you're too young for Bruce Lee, he was a famous karate guy.
He was kung fu fighting. His fists were fast as lightning. It was a little bit frightening.
Oh my goodness.
Because he had expert timing.
Okay, this is not music trivia.
I just did the first line of the song.
Which I actually do on Saturday this week. I'm going to do music trivia with lines like that. Not that one particularly.
Okay. So
anyway,
have a wonderful day. Be the best version of you unapologetically. My name is Dr. Michelle Mraz.
And I'm Brian Swanson. Don't forget to like and share.
We're Denim and Pearls, business casual.
Oh, yeah. We're business casual.
With pearls of wisdom from the porch.
From the porch.
So please find us on YouTube, like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you next week. Peace.
Peace out.
Thank you for joining us on the porch. We hope you're enjoying the Denim and Pearls podcast, where we share the nuances and lessons we've garnered from throughout our combined 40 years of life experiences. Talk from the porch is always serious, but full of laughter, and we're glad you're here with us.